excited for this. And it's interesting, real quick. I was going to save this for a little bit later, but I figure, things change, Ray. You know how quickly some things can change in your life. Like, for instance, you and Andrew, like a minute ago, y'all was all buddy. But now the tables have turned, the positions have switched, the planets have realigned, and the new bloods, they no longer on the same level. Andrew came up to the main event. And there's a reason why we got Ray and Chinyere together on the bottom, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to give you a little announcement, a little tease for something that's to come next month in December. It is my pleasure to announce that the Kings of Sport podcast is launching its very first, I don't know what you would call it, Andrew. Is it a spinoff? Is it a
one-on-one? It's one-on-one because it's only one in chat. It's only one Chinyere. It's only one Ray. So it's one-on-one.
It's one-on-one.
No spinoffs.
No spinoffs, no sequels, no reboots. But it is the first show on the Kings of Sport podcast network that will not be hosted by either myself, Kris, or Marcus. It is the first time we passing the rock to the younger generation. We ain't holding nobody down. Ladies and gentlemen, starting in December on the Kings of Sport podcast, you will be able to hear these two great people on the bottom of your screen right now if you're watching, Ray Williams and Chinyere Okafor, as they give their takes and thoughts on the world of combat sports, talking MMA, talking boxing, talking all of the above, the business side, the personal side, the racial side. Sometimes they're gonna be bringing it. They're gonna be bringing it to you on a show called, and y'all gonna love this name. Because when Ray told me last week what the name was gonna be, I was like, you know what, I can't even with you, Rookie Ray. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your hands up, bob and weave, because coming this December, the Kings of Sport present the Spinning Black Fist podcast with Ray Williams and Chinyere Okafor.
Thank you.
Spinning Black Fist coming to your podcast feeds. Ray, I will let you go first on this one because this was something low-key. Ray been trying to get this off the ground for a little minute, like just whispering in my ear like a little Tweety bird. Like, Nate, I know a little bit about combat sports. If you ever wanted to do a show about that, Ray been telling me this for like the last 10 years.
Was that a Ray impression right there?
That was my Ray impression right there. But Ray, in all seriousness, man, like this is something that you are passionate about, and I'm excited to be able to give you and Chinyere the rock and let y'all run with this. So any thoughts about the upcoming show? Again, we don't have no dates, we don't have no time frames and nothing like that. We ain't got a logo to show you. It's just a pre-announcement before we give you the real announcement in a couple weeks. But Ray, any thoughts on Spinning Black Fist?
Well, first, I do want to thank you, Nate, and thank you, Kris, everybody at the Kings of Sports Network that's given us the opportunity to share this. And I just thought that with the way you guys have been given, and I love how you use this word, and it's always been a word that I've been trying to think of, but always like focus down on other words, but you had the perfect word. I think it was a couple NWA shows ago when you said Afrocentric, and you guys always give a great Afrocentric perspective of pro wrestling, and I think that that's something that we do need in combat sports as a whole as well, especially with MMA, mixed martial arts. It's just something that is really a need, I think, that hasn't been truly realized by anybody just yet. You do have people who are people of color who are working in that space. Andreas Hell is a perfect example, who is still trying to, go ahead and give his own perspective of the sport that he loves, but from the culture point of view. And we feel that this is people like him that crawled so that me and Chinyere could walk. And I'm just so elated to be able to share this with Chinyere. I just see like the writing that she's doing and her reaching out with the different podcasts and the different media spots that she's been doing as well. So I actually feel underqualified compared to her, but I'm going to do my best. And I just thank you guys for the opportunity. as far as the name, I thought it might have been a little bit too on the nose, but I'm glad that you guys like it, and hopefully it catches on. And yeah, it's coming soon to podcast streaming near you. So
yeah, we see you out there, Jason. It is a great name. And here's the thing, Ray, about the name, because yes, it could be a little too on the nose, but I think the sign of a good name for any podcast is it's something that you hear it the first time, you're like, huh, that's kind of cool. That's neat. And then you think about it a little bit more, and you're like, nah, I don't think that's gonna work. And then you think about it another time, Ray, and you're like, nah, that's it. That's it. And that's when you told me that name, I thought about it when you first said it. I'm like, huh, that's kind of clever. Sat on it the next day. I was like, I don't know. It might be a little too specific. But then the day after that, I was like, nah, it's got to be Spinning Black Fist like that. and like the logo, Chris, I don't even we ain't got the logo, but I'm envisioning like the black fist with the anime glove around it, like just spinning black
tough,
fist.
Bro.
Like
Yeah.
Chinyere, like again, you were the first person when Ray brought the idea to me. I was like, it would be dope if I know Chinyere is busy and like again, she's on a whole nother time schedule than we are. But if we can make it work scheduling wise, we got to get Chinyere in on this because she's dope, and we've been wanting to have more opportunities to work with and collaborate with Chinyere. So, any thoughts, real quick, on the show that you and Ray gonna be leading here in December?
Oh man, I'm so excited actually. Hey, I'm always happy to be in more combat sports spaces. For one, it's one of those things where I'm always just part of like the Kings of Sports space, type of thing. And it's always like really, really great to be with you guys. And now for me to actually find myself in a space where I get to talk about not just wrestling, but also just other combat sports, because I feel for pro wrestling, we have managed to integrate and make it more Afrocentric and include more of our voices. But in MMA, for example, that hasn't really come through. And so it's a really great idea. And I'm so grateful that Ray has actually been following me and keeping up with me because, sometimes it can feel a bit like, you're a bit out of the loop, especially being in a whole different time zone and a whole different continent. But you guys have always kept me like, in your minds and your hearts. And I've always seen the support and I've always felt the support from you guys. So I'm very, very grateful. And I'm so excited for the show.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too. Go ahead, Nate. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say real quick. First of all, shout out to our guy T. Anthony. Full day, Ray. You love to see it. I ain't going that far. You still on this 10-day contract, Ray? I ain't going that far. But yeah, Chris. To your point, I'm gonna toss it to you. Like I feel like this is something that things happen when they're supposed to happen. Like honestly, I would have loved for this show to have happened 3 years ago, because that's something you and me have always talked about, is how can we kind of expand the tent and give other people, opportunities, not just because we love their voices, but also because you and me can't do everything, Chris. We ain't got the time, brother. But just to see Chinyere and Ray and their excitement makes me excited. So, this is something good for the Kings of Sport here, Chris.
Yeah, it is something good. And I'm glad we're doing it. And also, Andrew's like,
why are you looking at me?
So no, but I'm like, here's the thing, because I have kind of stepped away from MMA just because I don't like Dana White and what he's been about lately. But the most important thing is when we're in this journalism space, and I don't fancy myself a journalist, but I'm in this space, and MMA needs to be covered, and people, we need to have eyes on the product. And when Dana White does something out of bounds, we can report on that. And our eyes can't be everywhere, right? So like this is, again, we're not Kings of Sport. We're not DJ Envy on these streets promising give us your money and we'll flip it with real estate and rip.
I was gonna say, to be fair, no, Chris. If anybody needs a mortgage, guys, sometimes you got to take out that second loan, but you got to buy a house, then you can flip a house. So all you got to do is come up with enough money to buy a house, and me and Chris will help you flip it.
Yeah. We ain't doing it.
The real property brothers.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to sneak that shot in, but yeah, what we do is we when you all give super chats, when you subscribe to the Patreon, what we do is take that money and put it back into the show. We do not promise to flip your money.
So I wasn't supposed to buy that PS5 with the subscription money, Craig.
Hey.
My bad, dog.
Yeah.
Let me live, man. Let me live.
Well, we use that money for accoutrements to the show.
I don't complain when you buy all that mimosa, brother. Let me live.
Right. Yeah, he would buy. But yeah, that's the thing. I'm glad for Spinning Black Fist. And I'm glad that and then as me and Nate, like right now, I'm just super, super busy, and Nate is busy too, but we fit the time in. And again, we understand the process of what we do. That's why we've been doing it for so long. We're not trying to like be overnight like trillionaires, We're trying to do this the right way, and give content the right way. And I'm glad we got Chinyere and Ray to do this show, and hopefully we could grow it into something. And that's the beauty of what we do here, right? Is just we get the chance to take something and grow it and see what we can do with it, right?
I think part of the mission, Chris, that you and I have talked about, and also when me and Marcus, and Redacted, started this back in the day. Part of the goal was always eventually to open the doors. And it shouldn't just be like me having a voice or you having a voice or Mark having a voice. It doesn't mean anything if we don't let our brothers and sisters have their chance to shine. And so, again, I feel like the more voices we can have, particularly in a space like MMA, I feel like MMA is kind of like where wrestling journalism was 10 years ago, where it kind of needs a shakeup, and it kind of needs some fresh voices and some new voices and some younger voices and voices of color. And female voices to get in on the conversation and talk about these sports and these athletes, and just kind of not only what happens from bell to bell, but also what goes on around the sport, the business of sport, the politics of sport. And so I'm excited to see what kind of show Ray and Chinyere put together. So y'all, just I know we're gonna get to the wrestling here in a second, but we did want to off the top let y'all know what we have cooking coming up next month. The Spinning Black Fist podcast, y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the Kings of Sport right now, because really to echo Chris's sentiments, what I want to do for people like Ray and Chinyere and others that we're talking to is kind of what John and Wade do for me and Chris and Andrew and Kate and Bruce and W.H. Park and Rich Fan and Karen Peterson and Braden and Davey and Martin Bushby and the whole crew. You don't grow something by keeping it insular, You grow something by letting other people paint on the canvas. And so that's what we're trying to do with Ray and Chi-Chi, and we think y'all gonna dig it. But Andrew, speaking of stuff that people may have digged or may not have dug, that's the past tense.
It's for the culture and we repping it. It's for the culture and we repping it.